I started drinking from an early age, going out with friends, because when we was younger, like coming from the West Indies, our parents used to tell us this is the way to be a man, drink. So I got into that culture by drinking, you know what I mean? When we go to parties, I would be drinking. When I go to outings, I would be drinking. I would drink like Special Brew, Supertenants, whiskey, vodka. Me, myself, I didn't think it was a problem. I didn't think I had an alcoholic problem. And my wife used to tell me that I was an addict, I had a problem. So in that, we used to have fights. Yeah, I took the wedding ring, chucked them out the window. I would not eat my dinner. The turning point for me was someone invite my wife to the church, her sister, and my wife started coming to the church. She made a special prayer for me, like every time I had a drink, I would have this bitter taste in my mouth. And one night was in bed, so I had a tenants, and I said to her, like, you know, I was drinking this tenants, and it was really bitter, it really had a bitter taste. And she said to me, that's the sacrifice she was making for me. So I said, all right then, I'll go and have another one to see. And I went, and it tasted the same, you know. From then, I stopped drinking, and I noticed that difference with me and my wife was getting on better, you know what I mean? We actually stopped the fighting, we actually had a better relationship together. And in my workplace, there was a chap in there, he said to me he noticed the difference, because where I was arguing before and getting into fights, I don't do that anymore. I still had this problem of getting into argument with people, but when I came to the church, I asked God to take this out of me, and use my faith, and this is what happened.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, tonight's topic is called Swallow Your Pride. I don't know if you've ever met someone who's very proud, but it's not a very nice experience. Maybe you are a very proud person. Now, there are two types of pride. I'm not talking about the one where you are proud of an achievement. You know, you can lift your head up high and be proud that your child has graduated from university. Not that type of pride. There's a pride where you don't seem to ask for help. You don't admit that there's a wrong. You always think you are right. And that type of pride can get you into serious trouble. Now, proud people normally say, I'm not proud. But you're going to find out now if you, well, in today's program, if you are actually a proud person. Let's take a look at tonight's video.
Would you describe yourself as a proud person? But is your pride your biggest downfall? Maybe you've experienced hurt in the past and now you find it difficult to let the barriers down. It is detrimental to have a stiff upper lip, never complaining and remaining stoic in the face of adversity, keeping your feelings to yourself. But this kind of behaviour can lead to feelings of depression and helplessness. There is nothing admirable about prolonging misery, needless suffering and avoidable struggling. It is particularly alarming to see people deciding to tough it out when they feel fatigued or hard done by. Is it about time that you swallowed your pride? Why not start by asking for help when you need it? This really is a sign of courage and intelligence, rather than a weakness or personal failing. Always toughing it out or going it alone is not a healthy viewpoint. Maybe becoming more of a humble person in general could be useful, and it can certainly be more rewarding mentally and emotionally. If it's a trust issue, then try to build trust within yourself so you can then move forward and trust others. Try to remember what it's like being honest with your feelings. Being proud of yourself is one thing, but not acknowledging your deepest feelings and not letting people in could mean that you are missing out on what life truly has to offer.
That's tonight's program, and maybe you can relate to anything that was said there. Now, has anyone told you that you are proud? Has anyone said to you that you're stubborn? You don't like to listen. You always think you are right. If you hear these words, not just from a close relative, but you hear it from friends, you hear it from colleagues, you hear it from a range of different people, then the chances are that you are proud. And some people may even take pride in being proud, but they are in actual fact, they are suffering inside, as you will learn from tonight's guest. She has an amazing story to tell. She's going to explain to you in as much detail as she can, and it's already opened my eyes what she has been revealing about herself to us before the program started. Now, I've got here Victoria with me. Hi, Victoria.
Hiya.
So, the topic of tonight, pride. What have you got to say? There's some notes there that you've got about pride.
Yeah, pride is actually a fascinating subject because people often associate proud people with people who have high self-esteem, but actually it's quite the opposite. People who have low self-esteem, they may have experienced trauma or abuse in their life. What they do is they put up these barriers, and these barriers can show themselves in pride. So proud people are what we call stoic, and stoic means that you're feeling a lot of pain, but you're not showing it on the outside. So for example, we talked earlier about elderly people can be very stoic and proud. They don't want to show that they're suffering inside. So proud people in actual fact are suffering.
The British actually are known as being very proud, right?
Yeah,
the stiff
absolutely.
upper lip, right? Don't show your weakness. And in a sense, that's good maybe when you're facing an enemy in war. But in actual fact, if you take that soldier took that home with him and still kind of hold that pride, you know what, I don't show weakness. You know, you watching now, you're not a soldier. You have a normal life. But if you still, because of what you've gone through in life, you've gone through some sort of trauma, some sort of pain, some sort of hardship, and now you have this stiff upper lip, I can't show weakness, then in actual fact, that is a weakness. So if this is you and you would like help, I am a proud person, I need advice, I would like even a prayer, then call the number now, the number's on the screen, 0207 686 6300. There's a team of pastors waiting to take your call now and even pray for you. All right, Victoria, the other details. I don't know them off by head, but you do. How can they contact us?
So if you'd like to give us a call, our number is 020 7686 6300, or you can send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv, or you can talk to us via social media. You can send us a tweet. Just start your tweets with @FindAnswersTV, or follow us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
Now, before we go to a break, Victoria was saying there's a good way of dealing with people who are proud, who think they know it. And you got an experience, right? When you used to be a teacher.
Yeah, I was a teacher for 7 years, and I taught 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And that was quite challenging because quite a lot of teenagers do appear very proud. There are lots of reasons why teenagers are proud, but they don't like to be embarrassed, shown up, and they'll always put a barrier up. So yeah, I had a few techniques as to how to deal with proud teenagers.
Yeah, we're not going to use those techniques on tonight's program because I don't think it will work in this situation. However, we would like to help you, all right? So please do give us a call, email in, send in, I don't know, your tweets, if necessary. You don't need to come on live on air. If you want to speak to one of our advisors, you can do so. Our aim, though, is to help you, to be a better you. And on tonight's program, you're going to hear the true life story of a young girl. She's still young. She's still a teenager, actually. But what she's gone through, what she went through, I'm sure is going to help you discover maybe what you are going through now. You know, why you are the way you are. If you say, look, I'm happy the way I am, okay, then maybe you're not going to get any help, but at least if you hear her story, maybe one day your pride will be broken. But if you say, look, I am suffering and I do need help now, then stay tuned, okay? We're going to go for a break. When we come back, we're going to meet our guest. See you after this.
Are you a duck? What can it do? It swims. It walks. It flies. But does it do them all well? Yes, a duck can do all of the above, but it's not known for being great at any. So, are you a duck? Rather than attempting to do all things, why not be the best at one thing at a time? You will find you'll actually learn to be great at more things.
Every day, the course of life teaches us many lessons, but not all of them are positive. Even though we move forward, many times the journey becomes difficult. Sometimes it may seem like we will never get over what happened. We women know what it is to carry the burden of the past, but the truth is, the past does not need to influence the future. You have the option to change your story. We can show you how. Come to participate in the Inner Healing Seminar designed specifically for women on Saturday the 21st of February at the Rainbow Theatre, 232 Seven Sisters Road, London, N4 3NX, and entrance is free. For more information, give us a call on 020 7686 6000, uckg.org.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, let's meet our guest for this evening, Alicia Usherwood.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Alicia, welcome to the program.
Hi.
Now, tonight's program is called Swallow Your Pride, and you were a very proud little girl, weren't you?
Yeah, very proud.
It all started when you were quite young as well. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that. How was your behaviour?
Well, when I was growing up, I never had say a reason to be proud, but I was very spoiled. Because I'm the youngest child, I had older brother, older sisters, and they spoiled me loads. So I always got what I wanted, everything. I didn't have to like ask for anything. They would just give it to me.
Right.
And I kind of grew up with this mentality. So when I got to a teenager now, I was still really, if I want it, I'm gonna get it. You can't tell me what to do. It's my way. You're all wrong, I'm right.
Right.
So it would cause a lot of problems at home, like even with my siblings, because they were older than me and they would try and help me. And I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. Don't speak to me like that.
Was there quite a big age gap between you and your elder siblings?
Yeah, like me and my brother, there's 14 years between us, and then
Really?
the rest are older.
Okay, so there was that kind of gap. Maybe you felt you were different? A bit more special, maybe?
Yeah, I did.
Uh-huh.
I thought I was more special.
Okay.
I kind of acted like I was the only child,
Right.
and I was like better than them as well.
So tell us, what did you used to get up to then? What did you used to do?
When I was with my friends.
With your friends or even with your family?
With my friends, I was really outgoing. I was really happy. I was always the loud girl. Like, start arguments with people on the bus, start arguments with people in the shops, just start arguments with everyone, everywhere. At home, I didn't do what I was told.
Right.
Like, you couldn't tell me what to do. My mum would tell me, oh, take your plate outside. I'd be like, why can't you do it? Like, stop moaning at me. You're always moaning at me. My whole thing was, you're always shouting at me. Like,
You'd always come back with an answer.
Always.
You had an answer for everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I was never ever wrong. If you would tell me that I was wrong, I'd get so angry, and it would just make me argue with you even more. Like,
so it was just more words than anything else. You weren't like physical in any way.
no, I never had a fight, but I was really surprised because of how mouthy I was. And even if it was my mistake, I'd make that person feel like it was their mistake, and I'd go on and
So
dig.
give us an example, because I know, you had a word for everything, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of things you used to do?
Yeah, so at school, I'd have arguments with people, and I remember this one time, this girl, I did something, it was my fault, but I told her it wasn't like that, like, why are you lying, it's your fault, how dare you tell me that I did this, and it was like that. And we got in this massive confrontation because she was right, but I wasn't backing down, and she wasn't backing down. All the teachers got involved, everyone got involved, and I still wasn't backing down, and it was just like, I just used to feel so angry inside, because it's just like, how could you tell me I was wrong?
But did you know at the time you were wrong?
Yeah,
You knew it, but
Yeah.
you're ready to defend yourself.
I had to. If I wasn't going to defend myself, no one else was.
Right. Now, you used to, what type of friends did you hang about with? Were they all the same as you?
We were all quite snobby, you could say. Like, we thought we were better than everyone else. They were quite spoilt as well, like for different reasons. Some like had absent parents, so the parent that they were with would spoil them a lot. Others, both their parents would just spoil them. So yeah, they were the youngest or the only child. We were just all really spoilt little girls.
Okay, so on the outside you had this tough exterior, seemed to be tough. But how were you inside?
I was really unhappy. I'd spend a lot of the time crying at night. I couldn't be by myself. I hated to be by myself. I always had to be with people.
Who were you with
Like
then?
my friends.
So there'll be like sleepovers or something?
Yeah, or I wouldn't stay in the house.
Really?
I was just constantly out. When
Where?
I hit an age where I could go to parties, I was always at parties. I'd go out on Friday, Saturday nights with my friends and get drunk and smoke weed. Like, I always had to be doing something. I couldn't be by myself.
So at home, you used to cry yourself to sleep? What else?
I would just put onto my mum that everything was good, everything was fine. Oh yeah, I'm doing well in school, but I wasn't really. This is all going great, but it wasn't. I was just pretending a lot of the time to be someone that I wasn't.
Now, you did mention before the program that you used to self-harm.
Yeah.
Please tell us about that.
Sometimes it was for attention. So I would cut myself so then people could ask me, oh, what happened to your wrist? Why, like, what's going on? I'd just be, oh, nothing, it's none of your business. Like, don't ask me questions.
Was that from friends?
Yeah, from
Now,
friends.
did your mum or family ever think you were doing
No,
this?
no one ever would have thought it. Just because of how I was, how loud I was, I seemed so outgoing, so confident, no one would have ever thought that. So when people did find out, it was just like, when did this start happening? It doesn't make sense.
So what did you used to do to cut your wrist? What did you use?
I used to get scissors and like scratch my skin with them. And then sometimes if I found like bits of broken glass, I'd like dig it into myself.
Right.
And I'd pour hot water on my wrist.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because sometimes I thought like, if bad things happened, it'd be like, oh, it is my fault. I would just punish myself. I really hated myself. I thought I was ugly. I thought like I was really disgusting. All my friends were better than me. In reality, I was really hurt inside, but I'd make out to everyone that I'm better than them. And it's like I'd put everyone down to make myself feel better. But I was the one who was a mess.
Did you harm yourself in any other way?
I tried to commit suicide.
Really?
So I took like loads of pills that were in the house, but I just fell asleep.
How old were you at the time?
About 14 maybe.
14. So things got that bad. The thing is, you never asked for help, did you?
No.
So,
Never.
you know, you do these things at night. If you were at home, if not, you'd be out
Yeah.
getting high or, you know, going to clubs. But then at school, and this all took place at school.
Yeah.
At school, you were this tough girl, mouthy girl that, you know, could apparently defend herself, who was quite strong. Tell us about some other experiences that you went through.
I had loads of boyfriends as well. I used to go from boy to boy to make myself feel good. I think my main problem was low self-esteem. I was really, really someone who had no confidence at all. I didn't believe in myself. Even though people would tell me, oh, you can do this with your life, you could be that, I never really believed it. I didn't really see myself past a certain point. I try and imagine myself in the future, like with a nice job and all these kind of things, but I couldn't see that far. It was just here and now. That's what mattered.
Were your marks at school, were they quite good or not? Or did they suffer?
In school, like my marks were always good. It was the only thing that I managed to keep all right. And it wasn't because I revised or anything. I just managed to go into the exam and do fine. Because in lessons I'd get sent out a lot for being rude to my teachers, starting arguments with them in the class. They'll send me out. I have to go.
So you used to basically justify yourself to the teachers as well.
Yeah.
Did you used to kind of do the same thing? I'm right.
Yeah.
Do you need to speak to me like that? That type of thing.
Like, how dare you talk to me like that? Am I not a person? Like, don't speak to me like that. I used to be really rude to my teachers.
And again, you took that home with you, and you were rude to your mum as well and your family, as you mentioned in the beginning. How was that at home? I mean, with your mum. I know sometimes there are kids that hide it from their parents, but you actually be at home and you confront your mum as well. And what did you used to tell your mum?
Don't speak to me like that.
Yeah.
Can't you speak to me like a normal person?
Right. But was she rude to you in any way?
My mum was proud as well. So we would go like head to head. We were constantly clashing.
Yeah.
And my dad would say, you guys get into so much arguments because you're two alike. No one would back down. So even if I was right, she would be the right person. She would say, no, you're wrong. And then that would make me even more angry, because I'd be like, but are you blind or something? Can't you see this is how it happened? Like, what is wrong with you? And then it was just all the time, just constant conflict.
Now that was your own mum.
Yeah.
And she would obviously not back down as well and argue and fight.
Because she couldn't understand why I was being like that. She just used to say to me, I'm not one of your friends at school, don't speak to me like that. But my whole thing was like, well, if you want me to respect you, respect me. Even though I was still really young.
Yeah.
Like that was my mentality, like respect me if you want it back.
Yeah. So your life was basically messed up from a young age. Now, I was saying, I was mentioning to Victoria here that, you know, I associated pride, someone who's proud, with older people, the elderly, because they, as you get older, it's like you know it all. You don't want to ask for help. You know, you think you know better than everyone else. And I know some elderly people like that. But, you know, pride isn't just with the elderly. Anyone, and Alicia is a case, right? And an example of this, that doesn't matter how old you are, you still think you are right in everything. Actually, when you are suffering, as Alicia was, she didn't ask for help. And maybe you're in this situation. You are deep in trouble. You are suffering. You are suicidal. You're depressed, maybe self-harm. Maybe you're in a lot of debt. And, you know, you don't want to show weakness. You don't want to show that you are in trouble. And so, as we mentioned before, you put on this mask, you put on this front, but yet you're not asking for help, right? Because to you, help means, or asking for help means weakness. And it's not that you are weak. It's that basically you need help. Actually, asking for help is a sign of strength. So if you find yourself in this situation, stay tuned, because, don't think, if you're quite old, in your 30s or above, and you're looking at this teenager, she's still a teenager, right? You haven't hit 20 yet.
No.
But maybe she's gone through a lot more than what you have. But the thing is, she's changed. Today, she's a totally different person. She received advice. She received the tools necessary for her to change. And these same tools can also help you. The same advice, even prayer, can help you as well. We're going to go for a break, and when we come back, you're going to hear how Alicia changed her life completely around. We'll see you after this.
I get motivated to kickstart life again. That motivation that just pushed me for the rest of the week. So it's like a boost.
It gave me that hope. It gave me something to look forward to.
I felt welcomed. The environment it's hard to explain, but I felt at peace. It's home.
Sometimes, in order for you to get to the place that you want to be, it's important just to take that little step.
They didn't judge me from what background I came from. I felt like I belonged.
One of the greatest things is, you get to meet new people. Maybe, hopefully, I might get to see you there.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is swallow your pride. So we've been talking to the general public on the streets of London about their pride and how they deal with setbacks.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And
I think you can have as many friends and family as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chica on the streets of London for Finding Answers. Being strong-willed can be a very good characteristic, but can often get confused with one of the deadly sins, which is pride. Have you ever had to swallow your pride? I'm going to find out from the general public. Let's see what they say. Have you ever had to swallow your pride, and how did you take it?
That's a tricky one. I can't think of any instances where I've had to swallow my pride. I don't really have much pride in terms of I'd be ashamed or feel bad about something. So no, not really. Not that I can think of.
Can't think of anything in particular, but I guess if I'd had to, you'd have to sort of just man up, get over it. That's that.
I don't think I really had to. I ever had to, but it depends. Like if you have to swallow your pride for something that you believe it's important and it's gonna help you evolve, then it's good, and you embrace it and you continue. Otherwise, you just don't do it. I believe, yeah.
Yeah, I have on many occasions, and it's not actually been good, but I've learned that it helps you progress in different areas, so yeah.
Let's get back to our guest now, Alicia, who was talking about her issues with pride. Now, Alicia, I would like to, before you mention how your life changed, what was the worst point for you?
I'd say the worst point was when I, again, was in the wrong and I was behaving really terribly. I had this massive argument with my dad. And my dad was a person who would get angry with other people, but to me, he was always...
He was daddy's little girl, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't lay a hand on me or anything. But I really pushed him, and he'd grab me by my neck to shut me up, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
That was how annoying, how bad you got.
I was in the wrong, but I was arguing. I was saying, no, it wasn't like that. And he just grabbed me by my neck to shut me up.
So even he had enough with you. And how did you feel when your dad did that?
I was shocked because I was like, wow, it must be really bad if I'd made him do this. But I didn't back down. That just gave me another reason to tell him he was wrong.
So I was going to ask you, was that the turning point? It didn't even change you?
No.
You still kept on doing what you were doing? Okay. Now, I can see here, well, I assume now you've changed,
yeah,
right?
I have.
You've changed now, haven't you?
Yeah.
But there was a process of change that had to take place in you. Tell me, how did you actually change?
So my mum invited me to her church, and when I came, I'd sit at the back, not pay attention. It wasn't really for me. Not that I was listening, but I was like, oh no, it's not for me.
Now this is your mum,
yeah,
who you used to have confrontations with, the one you used to argue with, that you thought, you need to be understanding, you need to listen to me. I'm a big woman now, right? So how come you started to listen to her? You know, she invited you to church. Did things get really bad for you?
She invited everyone, and I just wanted her to stop talking, to be honest. So she's like, fine, I'm gonna come.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went along to shut her up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't plan on it being for me or anything. I was just like, okay, I'll come. Then I remember the first time I attended, she'd ask me, oh, how was the meeting? Everything. I was like, yeah, it was really good. Like, I'm sure someone would have got something from it. You know, the old people in the front or something. Yeah.
So it wasn't for you then?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't for me.
So, but you kept coming back, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I think it's because I started to attend the youth group as well. And the youths were really different, the way how they were. I liked the environment. So I was just like, okay, it's something new to do. Let me go.
How did you get into youth group, by the way?
Someone invited me.
And you went along as well?
Yeah. I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay. I was always looking for things to do.
Were you that type of youth that would sit there like this and just watch and who are these guys? You know? You opinionated.
One of my close friends now, who attends the youth group also, she used to say to me that when I first saw you, Alicia, I was scared of you. You looked like you thought you were better than everybody else, and you sat there playing with your hair, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it was true. I'd sit there and just look down on everyone. But I thought everyone was like oh, I like what they're doing, but I wouldn't show them that I appreciated their kindness or anything like that.
So the pride thing didn't change like that. So
No.
tell us, what did you hear in the church or in the youth group? What was the message that kind of hit home to you that, you know what, I am proud, I need to change?
I think it wasn't necessarily one message. There was a few messages that they would even speak about pride and how like it's really hard to help a proud person because they don't see that they're in the wrong and all these things. And
Maybe the message was specifically for you.
Yeah,
but let me try and help this girl out.
I would never think that. I'd just think, oh yeah, it's just for someone, not for me.
Right.
And then I came, but I never really saw that much change as I should have. It was not hard for me to stop drinking or smoking or even my friends, but it was hard for me to accept that I was the problem. So even when the pastors would come and talk to me, because I'd been there for a while now and they could see like things weren't okay, they'd approach me to help me and I'd argue with them. I'd tell them they don't know my life, they don't know what they're talking about. I'd even go to them to complain.
Right.
Oh, my mum, she's like this, she's like that. And they would tell me, no, it's you. You're the problem. And I was like, how dare you say that to me?
Right.
I'm not the problem. You're meant to help me because my mum's the problem.
Right.
All these things.
So again, even in church,
yeah,
you were still putting up this barrier, right? I'm right, everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
Even to the pastor, he was there to also help you as well.
For me to admit that I needed help, I think it was like I was being weak. I was showing that I let myself be really vulnerable if I was to do that. And it was hard for me to do that because I'd never been like that before. And all the barriers I'd put up, even though I knew I needed help, it still didn't seem like it was enough to take it down and just like admit like someone helped me.
So how did those barriers come down?
So I was in the church for a while and I would see people around me changing and I'd see them becoming really nice people, but I was still horrible. I was still like really argumentative. I'm right, you're wrong. And then someone actually spoke to me and said, this is the problem. Like, your life's not changing in the way that you want it to or the way it should do because you've got this mentality that it's your way all the time. And that's something you need to let go of to change. And it was something that I knew, but as someone being proud, I never admitted it. I'd know it in my mind, but I just put it to the back of my mind. It's like, oh no, that's not the reason.
And what type of person did you want to be?
I wanted to be someone who was truly happy, not just pretending to be happy. Because it wasn't hard for me to pretend. I'd done it forever before. So like, it wasn't hard for me to pretend that I was happy, but I wanted to truly be happy. I wanted to love myself. I wanted to think that I was beautiful, just like people would tell me. I don't want to have these insecurities anymore. I wanted to really change on the inside, because on the outside I'd changed. Everything seemed different on the outside, but I was still a really broken person on the inside.
And of course, I take it that while you were attending the church, were you still self-harming when you would go home up to a point? I
did stop, and then things became really, really bad because I would open up a little bit and I'd say, oh, this is going on. And then I was just like, no one's going to know anything about me anymore. Right. And then I did that and I stopped talking to everybody and I was really close. And then I started self-harming again. And then I opened up again and things started to change a bit more. Yeah. But I'd always give a little bit. Yeah. I wouldn't open up completely.
Now, when did you actually open up and give your all?
It was when the person spoke to me and said that this was the problem. Right. You really need to let go of it, because I was letting go, but I still had some ideas that it's not like this. Even though the pastor's saying that, it's not really like that. But
so
then,
did the change include prayer?
Yeah.
Did you have to really?
Because I didn't, even though I can't see God, I was still really like, I can't tell him this, I can't tell him that, like he can't know this about me. Even though deep down,
are you talking about God?
Yeah.
Right.
Even though deep down inside I knew that God already knew all this stuff, I was like, so it's like, so he knows it, it's fine, I don't have to talk to him about it. But I actually had to pray and tell him I was going through this, I was going through that, and I needed help. And before I could get help from anyone else, I had to ask God for help.
So in your case, it was like admitting, right? By speaking out, you're admitting, I'm at fault, I'm in the wrong, and I need help urgently.
Yeah.
And that was like the process,
Yeah.
right? And what was the change? What do you start to notice within yourself when you started to pray and open up to people?
It was. I became a nicer person. I was nicer to be around.
Yeah.
I was able to listen to people instead of thinking that they're just speaking a load of rubbish and it's just listen to me, I'm right. I was able to really like make real friendships and things like that.
Tell me something practical that you had to do. Like, you know, you left there and you heard something, or you decided, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start acting in this way with people. So what do you have to do once you left the church?
I had to make it like something I did daily. So it wasn't just making a decision, okay, I'm not going to be proud anymore.
Yeah.
But I had to leave and think. So in day-to-day situations, like if my mum tells me to do something, instead of having an argument with her, I'm going to do it. Even though it might hurt inside and be like, oh, how can she be telling me this? I have to be really calm and be like, okay, and do it. And like with people on the bus, if they'd get on my nerves and they were wrong or something, instead of saying, no, you're wrong, I'd have to be like, okay, maybe they didn't understand what they did. I just have to start seeing things in a different way.
Yeah.
And so that's something that really helped. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to.
And as you said, it wasn't easy in the beginning,
No.
but that was the start of the process of change. You had to tell yourself, you know, I can't say this, I can't behave like this anymore. And then what was a period of time? How long until you actually was like over this? You know, you saw the complete change in you.
I would say it didn't take long, months or so. Yeah, it wasn't, the whole battle was giving a bit and then stopping and then giving a bit and then stopping. But once I made the decision and I actually stuck to it, it was quick.
That was it.
Yeah.
How is Alicia today?
Today I'm completely different. I'm really happy now. Like from the inside, it's not just being fake and pretending to be someone I'm not. I'm a lot nicer person to talk to.
You're not rude anymore?
No, I'm not rude, I'm not cheeky. Me and my mum actually get on really great now. We've got a really good relationship.
And the self-harming issues?
That all stopped. I stopped wanting to commit suicide, no more self-harming, nothing.
And how long has it been since you've been free from all of this?
About 2 years maybe?
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what's Alicia doing today with herself?
Today I'm at uni, yeah, and I've got a job as well, so I'm doing really well.
No more arguing with the teachers when they don't...
No.
Actually, you don't misbehave anymore in class, right?
I wouldn't have been able to get to uni if I carried on the way that I was. Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much for sharing with us your story.
Thank you.
Now, if you've identified yourself with anything that Alicia said, and you may not be a teenager, but you are middle-aged. You know, you're grown up, you have your own family, you're quite successful in your career, maybe you are retired, and you are suffering inside. This pride is eating you up. Many people have told you that you're going through this, but still you're the know-it-all. You know everything. And we're not trying to, I'm not trying to put you down in any way. Our aim is to help you. Alicia today is very happy and content with herself. She's moving on in life, and thank God that she has changed at such a young age. But there's still hope for you. All you need to do is follow the type of things that she followed by receiving that information in church. Now, maybe you don't go to church, but at least you can start following the tips and the advice that we have given to you, or we will give to you in this program. And at the end, we'll be saying a prayer for you. All right? We're going to go for a break. When we come back, Pastor Roland will be joining me, and we'll be talking more about the subject of pride. We'll see you after this.
Introducing the Love Therapy website. Love Therapy can help you find true love and show couples how to enjoy happiness through a successful relationship. So why not click on the Love Therapy website for dynamic, interesting and useful tips on love. You can watch inspirational videos from happy couples sharing their experiences of maintaining relationship strength, and find out when the Love Therapy meetings are. If you're looking forward to a first date, then the Love Therapy website has 5 tips for that all-important first date. And why not sign up for the Love Therapy newsletter to receive the latest news and events postings? All you need at your fingertips. The Love Therapy website.
In life, there are problems that just hit you with a blow. Everything crumbles away, and the heartache never seems to disappear. Everything keeps going wrong. You are in despair. What do you do when your hope isn't enough? When your single prayer seems to return unanswered, and the persistent problem is still there? Make the chain of prayer and turn things around once and for all. Don't give up. Make a chain of prayer. It works.
Welcome to the last part of Finding Answers. Now, the topic for tonight is swallow your pride. And if you're with us, you heard of Alicia's story. Now, I was hearing her story and just thinking that when a person's proud, she mentioned something, and I was just thinking about an actress or an actor. And they put on a show, they put on this front, right? They pretend to be something because they're in a certain role. But then, when they go home, there's someone totally different. We hear in the news about actors and actresses who are depressed, but you would never think that when they're there in front of the camera. And maybe that's how you are, right? I have with me Pastor Roland. Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, Pastor Michael.
Now, you've got 2 points that you like to share with the viewers at home.
Yes.
Very interesting points.
It's true, because when I was listening here and watching the testimony, we really know that some people are proud of being proud.
Mm-hmm.
Others are proud of not being proud. Some people are proud of being atheist. Others are proud of their devotion to God. Knowledge actually can make people proud, but also when a person ignorance can make it can be a source of pride.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 cures for pride: humility and humiliation.
Mm-hmm.
But the second is like a consequence if a person does not adopt the first option.
Yeah.
Actually, humility is an option. If a person learns how to be humble and put into practice humility, she practices being humble, she can change things around.
Mm-hmm.
Humiliation happens normally as a consequence because a person just don't act properly. Just like we saw in her case, she was used to think that she was always right.
Mm-hmm.
So as a consequence, humiliation takes place.
Yeah, both points happen in Alicia's life, right? Because she didn't want to humble herself and accept, I have a problem. And because of that, there were times when she was humiliated. And maybe that has to happen to some people. But as you said, if you hear that you are proud, you recognize it, and you start the process of change, then you can avoid humiliation and you can actually benefit sooner rather than later. Now, the Bible talks about the devil, right? If we believe that there is a God, we must believe in the devil. If there's light, there is darkness, right? If there's positive, there is negative. If there is God, many people just say there is God. So he's the one that blesses, but also he's the one that punishes. That's not true. God is everything positive, everything good. So what's the opposite side? It's evil, the devil. And the Bible says that the devil was proud, or actually Satan, actually Lucifer, I should say. Lucifer was an angel of light. You know, he was one of the angels, one of the top angels in heaven. But then he decided, you know what, he thought within himself, you know, I can do the job that God does. Who does he think he is? And because of that, he started to have this opinion of himself. I am equal or just as good as God is. And because of that, God had to cast him out of heaven. And so that pride took him down and he became evil. God didn't create the devil, but he went cast out of heaven, and now we see evil on this earth. But what led him to be cast out? It was pride. And your pride can also damage your life, as you heard in Alicia's case. If you want help, if you don't want destruction for your life, if you don't want your relationships, family, friendships, if you don't want things not to go wrong for you, if you want things to go right in your life, if you want to have, friends around you, people around you, then humble yourself. And that requires sometimes strength, right? Not you closing up, putting up a barrier, but you asking for help. And that's the key, right? When we ask for help, when we do that, we are showing a sign of strength instead of weakness.
It's true. I was reading an email that Oli, I'm sorry, I'm not going to have time to read the whole email that you have sent for us, but Oli said here, he started on the email saying, I need to swallow my pride, but I can't do it. I need help. And then describes everything that Oli wants in the email. But start already saying that I can't do it. You know what? You are probably only expecting to find someone that agrees with you. Actually, you don't want to help. Because when a person wants help, humbles herself already on the request, on saying, I need your help because you know more. But when you start saying, I need help, but I'm not going to swallow my pride, you want someone that comes with an advice that matches with what you want then, and not with, you're not
what
open.
You need.
Yeah, what you need. You're not open to receive something from a person and then change and do.
Yes.
You must humble yourself first on the request, and then start applying what you're going to listen. Because that's how then you're going to change. It has to clash. What you had as an opinion first has to be broken. Is what happened with the lady that was testifying here today. It happened with her.
Yeah.
She had to start changing against her will.
Okay, so that's it. We're going to say a prayer for you now. And it's not that the prayer is going to change everything like that. But if you say, I want help, then the prayer will be the start of a change in your life. Let's go for the prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer and include you in the Finding Answers prayer book, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we know that pride can destroy, can really hurt a person. And we heard this in Alicia's case. And she didn't get the help that she did if she didn't humble herself if someone who cared for her didn't confront her and give her the right advice, maybe she wouldn't be here today sharing her story. And Lord, we have many people who are proud in thinking they know right. Their opinions are always right. They know it all. But when they look to their lives, they are stuck. They're not able to progress. Actually, people don't even want to be around this person. If this person now recognizes that they need to be humble, to humble themselves, to hear and to follow advice, no matter who or where that comes from, I ask you now to bless this glass of water. And Father, when this person will drink this water, may the hardness of their heart be removed. May this person's heart be softened. May they hear and take correction, take advice, my God, from whoever that may come from. You can use a beggar even to give that advice to this person. A friend, a family member, maybe even someone that they don't like, but that person says or gives that advice to help them. My God, bless this water now. And in the name of Jesus Christ, drink this water and receive a new heart, a new beginning in Jesus' name. So, there you have it, right? I hope that this program tonight has helped you. I know that Alicia has a very nice story, but we don't just want you to feel nice for her. We want to help you, all right? You can always tune in to our YouTube channel. If you've missed this or you feel that this program will help someone else, then you can check our YouTube channel and you can find this, at a later stage, all right? It's been a pleasure being with you tonight, and we'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.